Hey everybody, it's Jax again from the Popcorn Review Podcast. Today's gonna be my episode 36, Raw before Night of Champions. Um, this was pretty much a recap or whatever, showing about the matches that are soon to come. But you did have Seth Rollins come to the ring and company, and Seth pretty much put the crowd on blast. Like, what do you guys want? Because one minute you're rooting for me, you're singing my song. One minute you're barking like the dog. One minute you're chanting Jay. One minute you're chanting Cody. One minute you're chanting CM Punk. As he said that, the crowd rang out CM Punk. CM Punk didn't show up though, but you did say that you did have Seth Rollins pretty much call Paul Heyman his Oracle, which I thought was a kind of a weird name personally. Um, you did have pretty much he put everybody on notice. You know, Cody's not going to have a second coming. Jay's not going to get back there, and just putting people on blast. CM Punk ain't going to do it. So again, putting everybody on notice, pretty much on the show. Um, After that, though, went straight into a match. You did have Braun versus Penta. Good all around match, honestly. You did have these guys go back and forth. Long story short, though, Braun spears Penta out of the air. Like, Penta jumps off the middle rope, turns around as he's coming around, boom, gets speared midair. Um, it's always a hard hitting match with you have Braun in there, but Braun did do it. And again, Braun be pulling off these Frankensteiners. A guy that big shouldn't be doing it, but it is what it is. But a good match with these two. These guys been having a lot of chemistry together. They've been wrestling on and off for the last few weeks, even months, if anything. Um, but after that match, we did have Seth come out again with company and pretty much tells Penta, now state of our business, or it can be a lot worse for you. Penta's like, no, I'm not going to do that. But he pretty much put Penta on notice in front of everybody. They're like, yo, this can happen to you, so knock it off. Um, after that, you had a segment with Adam Pierce pretty much telling telling AJ like, yo, your match with Dom is injured. You're not gonna be able to wrestle at Night of Champions. Don't know if this whole thing has to do with what's going on in the Middle East right now, but Dom won't be at Night of Champions. AJ won't be at Night of Champions. You did have the New Day pretty much coming to Adam Pierce right after that. They go, hey, we want to talk to you. He's like, oh yeah, about a match. They're like, oh, match? So it was announced that the New Day is going to wrestle JD and Finn. Makes a lot of sense that they're trying to build that group up, or the new version of the Judgment Day. So we'll see how it plays out. You did have Goldberg there have a segment interview, 7 minutes, 10 minutes long. Don't really care. I actually got up and walked away. Not excited for this match. No reason to take the belt off of Jay just to give Gunther and Goldberg a title match. That could have been a grudge match. Didn't need a title shot, in my opinion. I know Goldberg's out there telling everybody that he doesn't have to stand in line. He's won 176 matches a no, so he shouldn't have to stand in line. Yes, this was years ago. There's guys that you just jumped the line in front of who've been working for the last 10 to 15 years who haven't gotten a shot, and you're expected to get one because what you did 20, 30 years ago. It's not fair to everybody. Even the last match you had against Undertaker was garbage. I expect the same thing. I am not excited for Saturday night's main event because of this match. Don't care about this match. Honestly, what is the purpose of this match? Gunther's either going to beat the shit out of a 58-year-old man, right? Or Gunther going to lose to a 58-year-old man. And how does this help Gunther at all? Oh, you lost to an old guy. Oh, you beat up an old guy. How's that going to look? You're going to make your champion look like a punk, like a bully. But don't care about this segment. Don't care about the match. So I'm just going to skip over it. You had the Judgment Day segment. You kind of had like Finn kind of rallying the troops. They're like, come on, guys. You had Dom like kind of down on himself, like, yeah, I can't wrestle and I can't see my girl. She's injured, whatever, whatever. He said, come on, man, you're the IC champion. He goes, JD, you and we're going to have a match for the tag titles. Come on, man. He goes, Perez, you about to win the Queen of the Ring. Let's go. Let's go. And he looks at Roxanne. He goes, and you, Roxanne, I'm sorry, Raquel, you are the women's tag team champion as of now. So chin up. And he kind of starts talking shit like under his breath. And she's like, what'd you say? And he was like, see, that's the fire that I need. So he's definitely rallying the troops. He does, though, have Dom tell Perez, like, hey, she has a match tonight. Oh, good luck. He's kind of sad because his girl not there. Um, you did have another segment there with Sheamus and Rusev in the back. Not excited for this match either. Technically, these guys could be mid carders as of now, the way they're portraying it. I think Rusev was coming back thinking he was going to win the world championship, but I think he's going to be more of a mid card. He might win the U.S. title or something to that effect. Sheamus could do the same. As of right now, these guys aren't in the title picture, so they're going to have like a mid card story without even a title. So we'll see how it goes. Gunther comes out later on, complains about Goldberg ruining the celebration, blah, 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 blah. Don't care about the damn match, so I'm going to skip over that too. You did have Kieran Cross interrupt Sami Zayn again, and he kind of gets in Sami Zayn, oh, that's why you lost. You're never going to get there. You're never going to be at the mountaintop, whatever, whatever. And Sami finally has enough, gives him a right hook. Kieran falls, and Sami goes, you and I have a match. Boom. Night of Champions, Sami versus Kieran Cross. They took the spot for AJ Styles and Dom. This has been building for a while. Don't know where it's going to go from here. A lot of people are going to want Kieran to win, but because of the story, Sami lost last week. A lot of people are going to want Sami to win. So we'll see how it plays out. Honestly, I haven't seen Kieran Cross wrestle shit, I think, in a few months. So we'll see how it goes, honestly. But Kieran did look at his girl and say, about time, and just like laughed it off. So he was waiting for Sami to do something. Well, after that, you did have the segment, or the match rather, with Jade and Roxana Perez. This was actually a pretty good match. Yes, Jade is still a little awkward in the ring, but she did pretty good. She does a lot of stiff moves. A lot of time when she does that like high kick, I feel like she's really kicking girls in the chest. Um, in all, Perez was a good person to put her against. Perez is more of an experienced wrestler, even though she's only been on the main roster for a few months. She's been wrestling for years. And you could definitely see it. Perez is going to be there for a long time, guys. I know a lot of people like Julia as well. I don't know too much about her, but Perez has really been impressing me. Um, Perez is going to be the women's world champion at some point. Just mark my words. She's going to be there for a long time. I would say the next 5 to 10 years or so. Jade does pull this one off, and Jade walks out of the ring, and she goes to the look at the crown, and then boom, Asuka's music hits, and they face to face with each other. So you're gonna have Asuka versus Jade. With this match here, honestly, I don't know where it's gonna fall because you still have that story with Naomi and Bianca Belair that can play out, but you also had a segment with um, Asuka and Io Sky in the back too, saying, "Hey, we never thought we would wrestle, but we always wanted to, so it could happen." I personally feel like it's going to be Asuka, honestly, but I think like the storyline with Jade and Naomi and Bianca makes more sense. But you guys, let me know what you guys think. Um, but you did have a match there with Becky that was coming out. There was a part though that Lyra and Becky were talking in the back, and Becky kind of got real defensive at first, and Lyra was like, "Yo, I'm just trying to wish you luck and letting you know that after that match, if you win, I wanna run it." And she goes like, "Yeah, if I win, you first in line. Don't worry about it." But you saw Becky kind of lurking in the background, which I thought was gonna be more of it, to be honest with you, but nothing transpired from that. During that match, these girls were going back and forth. Becky was doing great. Bailey was doing great. Like they have a lot of chemistry and a lot of history between the two of them. Excuse me. But during that match, you had Becky kind of like bury Bailey by the commentary table with the sliding chairs and then folding chairs because she wanted to count out. Well, Lyra actually shows up and goes, "Hey," or not, "Hey." She starts unburying her, and then she kind of gets in Becky's face on the apron there, and Becky wants Lyra to hit her because then she wins by DQ. Bailey actually pulls Lyra off, like, "Yo, what are you doing? I got this," and they start going back at it. Well, Becky actually throws Lyra, or knocks her down, or knocks her out, or something. And then from there, Bailey kind of gets the better hand of, or betterment of, Becky there and beat her down, about to hit her with the elbow drop. Lyra kind of wakes up from what was going on, gets in the ring, and starts wailing on Becky. Becky wins by DQ. Now, her and Lyra are going back and forth, like, "What do you call it? I had it. You ain't had to get into it." And Lyra's like, "I'm sorry." Whatever, whatever. For the longest time, I always thought that Bailey was going to turn on Lyra. But I think what's going to happen is Lyra's going to get a match against Becky, and they're going to have a three-way for that match. And they're going to go. That's how Lyra's going to get her title back. They're going to have a three-way, for the IC championship. Adam Pearce, make it official. But we'll see how it plays out, guys. But Lyra did cost Bayley the IC championship, so we'll see how it plays out. You did have a segment, or I guess a recap of what happened on Friday Night SmackDown with Cena and Punk. And then I would say I would call this the yin and yang segment. They kept saying how good turns into evil, evil turns into good. That one turned into the other turned into the other. Okay. Um, Weird segment, but I see what they were trying to do with it. They're just saying that one guy changed his values to what the other guy used to be. Could totally see what they're talking about. If you haven't watched the promo, I personally didn't watch SmackDown, but I did watch the promo online. People clipped it, so I just took a shot, looked at it. Pretty decent promo. Can't wait for this match. I wish they would have waited for this match later on. We already know that John Cena is here till what, December? I don't see John Cena losing anytime soon. So I feel like this match is for nothing. Same thing with Randy. That match was for nothing. Why put it there? But it is what it is. Um, Again, I'd recommend watching that promo. It was actually a decent promo. Now the main event was main event Jey Uso versus the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. This match, guys, from start to finish, was amazing. The crowd was behind both of these guys. The crowd yeeted with Jey. The crowd sang Cody's song. Amazing atmosphere for the two of them. Yes, it's two baby faces. Typically, they say it doesn't work. This match worked. This was probably one of the best matches I've seen from Jey. This is what Jey should have been able to do during his title run. All hands down, this is what he should have been able to do. You didn't give him that opportunity, but this was a hell of a match. Jey was hitting Cody with the crossroads. They were doing each other's moves to each other. There was a sequence that, Jey hit 2 super kicks, a spear, Uso splash, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, close 3. Then you had Cody, multiple cutters, crossroads, and boom, Jey 1, 2, boom, jumps out as well. So both of these guys are pulling all the stops. This was a great match. Honestly, this was one of the better matches I've seen from Jey Uso. Sucks it wasn't when he had the title, but it was still a great match. Long story short, Cody wins. I think he hit someone like a super cutter and just beat Jey, flat out beat Jey. Great match. I would have been okay with both storylines, to be honest with you. I still feel like this match should have been maybe in Saudi Arabia. I feel like Jey should have fought Sammy, and then Sammy would have lost. That would have made Sammy turn on Jey in the future. I think Randy should have lost to Cody, and then Cody would have turned on, or Randy would have turned on Cody in the future. That's not the case. We're going to get the storyline with Cody and Randy. But it's still going to be a nice match. I feel like we've seen this already between Cody and Randy, but that's probably how Randy's going to turn and start chasing the title as a heel. Decent match overall. Hopefully everybody's safe in Saudi Arabia. I know a lot of stuff is going on. I thought they were going to pull the plug on this and maybe, do it down the road or change the venue, but that's not the case, guys. So hopefully everybody's okay. But in all, decent show for Raw there. Again, don't care about the Gunther match at all. Jey Uso, great match, great main event. Finn Balor, you're doing your thing. You did have Rhea Ripley have a match or got called out by Raquel. I did miss this part. Got called out by Raquel, and they start brawling. You have Raquel try to pull out the Slim Jim fucking table. Who cares, right? The Slim Jim table. And Rhea Ripley goes to she beats her down, pulls her in, about to hit the Riptide onto the table. She gets attacked by Perez. Now, Perez just helped out Raquel. Raquel goes and, chokeslams Rhea through the table there, through the Slim Jim table. And she kind of looks at Perez and goes, "Okay, girl, come on." Boom, she just won over Perez. Or just won over Raquel. So now you got Finn, JD, Perez, and now you got Raquel versus Dom and Liv. But if he has Perez go after Dom, Liv's by herself. So we'll see. Finn is definitely plotting, guys. We'll see how it plays out. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Have a great one.